right, guys. My name's Fernando Leon. I am here to give our next webinar on converting break-fix clients to the managed IT service model. I know there's firms out there just still delivering tech support, not the proactive preventative maintenance model. So we've produced a webinar or a presentation to share on what steps you need to take to convert that break fix client, because I know it can be a challenge and it's already taxing to support a client who doesn't want you to be proactive. And these steps that we're going to go over will help you get that client to buy into the value add model. All right, so let's get this going and let's dive into what the MSP Corner is all about. Our main objective at the MSP Corner is to help CEOs build profitable and self-sustainable IT service firms. We are not just providing tools for IT firms. We will be sitting in meetings with you to ensure your IT firm is on track with selling value and implementing marketing strategies that will drive traffic to your site. You guys want opportunities. You guys need opportunities to stay in business and to grow. So we want to help you get to implement the right mechanisms so you guys continue to grow. We will have information on how to sell value, right? IT firms are stuck selling technology or IT services. We will provide you with frameworks so you position your firm as an add value to your prospects. 90% of businesses rely on antiquated marketing methods. And the most popular choice, obviously, is they rely heavily on word of mouth. And we have proven methods on how to attract the ideal prospect. Our framework will include how to become the online authority and be the business influencer for an industry or multiple industries. It's possible. So also, we want to talk about scaling. IT firms walk away from opportunities because they lack the bandwidth or skill set to scale. We have lined up resources so our members can hire on-demand uh, companies so they can scale their business. We don't want you to be without uh, resources so you can build upon your business. Now, to deliver value, you need the right resources in place, and that's where resources and scaling come together. Is one of those would be the right tech stack. Our platform will be offering information on products that are ideal for the MSP. So stay tuned for that information. Templates are a critical component when building an MSP. We have contracts, proposals, SOWs, collateral, and much more in the template section. And you're going to have every template you need to start up your managed IT service business. So let's kick this show off. Now, process for the conversion. So we want to be able to collect data, and hopefully you guys have them. You can collect these metrics. Metrics are going to be critical on how you can approach and position your IT firm, because you want to be able to um, present a case to your break fix client. So I know this sounds painful, but you want to be able to present to your client that there were issues that could have been avoided with a proactive plan. You want to be able to present what you just build a case on why they need to move the proactive model, because it's the proactive model is what brings value to an organization. You want to have you want to present yourself as the solution to prevent issues from happening. So hopefully you can have this metric also of how long were they down and how much business did they lose, because you just want to arm yourself with enough data to convince them or persuade your break fix client that the proactive model is going to keep their firm from having any downtime. Now, costs. Costs are going to be important. So if you can collect enough data for the past 6 or 12 months, that determines uh, how much money they spent on getting tech support. That's going to be very important because you want to be able to hopefully reduce the cost, but what what is more valuable than preventing problems from happening? So your client, you're going to have a balancing act there, because if you have a low maintenance client who is still on break fix and they don't have many problems, they're not going to be a good candidate. You want a candidate that is spending a good amount of money on IT support, and the break fix model is just makes so much more sense when you move them over to the fixed cost model. If it's possible, I don't know if this is even possible, but meeting with their CFO to quantify the amount of revenue loss for being down, that is going to help you determine or build that case of why they should move to the proactive model. So let's go over that model now. The managed IT service and why it equals to value. Well, the managed IT service model, when implemented, is a proactive model. It's preventative maintenance. It's like maintaining a car. If you change the oil, you tune it up, you keep it in good shape, it's not going to have problems. And that's the upside with managed IT services. You are going to prevent problems. Clients out there, businesses do not want to have problems. They do not want to have network outages. They do not want to have security breaches. So your plan, your proactive plan, is going to present them with a solution so they don't have issues. They don't have disruptions on the network. Increasing security is always a priority for every business. Small businesses are going to be a challenge because they feel like they're not a target like the big boys. So one of the things that you want to provide your clients is that all businesses, you got to collect enough data to share what those reports are about. You have to come up with a information that builds on your case that, look, you need to have layers of security, you need to have spam protection, keep your employees trained on preventing phishing attacks. So increasing security is always going to be a big discussion with organizations, because some of them are easy to buy into the security strategy, some are going to be a challenge, but always be pitching the security position. Everybody loves predictable IT costs. Nobody likes unpredictability because you just don't know what you're going to spend, and everybody likes to have budgets. So when you present your break fix client with a predictable IT cost, it's going to create more influence for them to move to the preventative and predictable IT cost model, because all of this is done at a fixed cost. You guys have to come up with a formula on how to do that, and we will go over that. But that's the easy part. The hard part is selling a break fix client who's not used to this type of model. Now, managed IT services equals less downtime because of the preventative maintenance model. You have you're able to predict issues before they become disruptive, and that equals less downtime. Clients don't want to be on calls for tech support. Who loves being on tech support calls? I don't, and I know clients don't. It's like going to the dentist. Who wants to go to the dentist to get their teeth fixed? So if you can present yourself as a credible and trustworthy, and with a plan on how you're going to prevent downtime, companies want to hear how you're going to do that. So that is another box to check off of why businesses need to move to the managed IT service model. This produces happier end users, which increases client retention. So everybody wants happy clients. Nobody, we already deal with angry clients. So we want to keep them as happy as possible. And what does that is managed IT services. Break fix causes a lot of frustration. So we want to keep your clients happy, and managed IT services, the predictable and preventative maintenance model, is going to produce happy clients. Bundling packages. So businesses already are dealing with multiple invoices and vendors. And if you can provide your clients with the bundled package where they're getting email protection, backup, and tech support, and if you can provide them with servers in the cloud, even better. It does cause the question of, well, we don't have expertise for cloud services. That's an easy problem to solve, and that's a whole nother discussion. But you guys need to start thinking about the bundled packages you're going to offer your clients. It's a practice that occurs today, and you guys need to get in the habit of when you meet with a new client, talking to them about your bundled packages. You want to tighten that grip you have on your client. And when you provide them with an all inclusive, all the products they need on one invoice, they're going to, you're going to have a lot, they're going to have, you're going to have a harder time losing a happy client who buys everything from you. Okay. Now let's go over well, yeah, this is going to, obviously consolidate all their billing. So that produces a lot of happiness. Now let's go over the break fix and why I consider it a liability. Is when you're on a break fix model, you're reacting to network outages. And who wants a network outage? No one wants any downtime. So you want to be able to produce or predict a potential network outage, right? So reacting is not a good. You guys don't want to be waiting for the fire to happen and the building burns down, and then you go back and you're like, okay, I got to rebuild your network. No, you want to prevent that network from crashing and having to rebuild it. Unpredictable IT costs is a challenge for any firm, right? If you don't know what you're going to be spending each month, it can be a headache, and it can cause just budgets to it can just throw the whole budget out of whack, and nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants predictability. That's the way of the world, and that's what everybody is moving to. So, and then I know some of you are still on the break fix model. If you don't know what those predictable IT costs, you have to DM me. We'll go over a short presentation of how my MSP is producing that fixed cost model. I want to help you guys. I know it could be a challenge, but I'm going to help you guys at no cost. This is just free advice. I will go over what we do in order to produce a quote for our clients and prospective clients. So the break fix model is producing more downtime, right? Because you're reacting to network outages, and nobody wants more downtime. You want to prevent that downtime from happening. Downtime produces frustrated end users, unhappy clients. You may be uh, it, client retention is so important because it just it's what produces money. So you don't want clients firing you, and you want every reason to keep them happy. And the break fix model, I hate to say it, is not a model that's going to keep clients happy. They will eventually get tired. They will eventually get um, approached by an MSP that will call the CFO and say and ask the right question. And it might be at the right time when your network is down, right? A good person is going to pitch a CFO or a CEO on, look, they're not going to talk about tech support. A good salesperson is going to call a CFO or send them an email saying, are you unhappy with your IT services? Do you have downtime? Or do you want to prevent downtime? They're going to say something that's going to hit a nerve, and they're going to request a meeting. So you guys don't want to give your clients ever a reason to take a meeting with another IT service firm. When you're on the break fix model, you're trading hours for revenue. We want to get away from that because the managed IT service model is a fixed cost and it's a very profitable model. When you see what we charge and what it costs to maintain a low maintenance client, even a high maintenance client, you're still making money. So I'm happy to go over that. But when you're on a break fix model, you're waiting for problems to happen. You only make money when there's problems. And that's the opposite of the managed IT services model. You're preventing problems from happening and you're getting paid for it. So, what makes more sense for you? The other thing is it's not scalable. And that's something I didn't touch on the managed IT service model is that it is scalable. Break fix, you only have so many hours to work. And that's something that's not scalable. If you hire another client that's going to be break fix and they need you there 20 hours a week and you don't have that amount of time, you're going to have to hire somebody. And sometimes that can be a challenge. Then you have to manage them. And then you have to micromanage them because in the beginning, they're probably not going to be doing exactly what you want them to do. So it can be challenging. So building here's a quick overview of what we charge for your standard client. And let's go over each line item because it's important that you guys get an understanding of what we deliver. So that first line item is the user help desk during business hours. All right. We have two models. We have 24 by 7 and we have business hours. The 24 by 7 is more expensive because it's premium. It's like going from a pro package to elite package. So you guys have to think in that type of strategy that if you want a premier package or a premium package, you're going to have to charge more. All right. I remember going to the airport and checking in my bag, and it was included in the airfare. Well, you don't get that luxury anymore. You now have to pay to have your bag checked in, or have it have it go with you on your trip. So, same thing. You guys have to think of ways on how to upsell or increase revenue. So we produced a business hour model. It makes it easier for the client because the client can you know pick between the two. They can say, hey, you know what, we business hours is going to be plenty for our type of model. So let's go with a 50-person office who is requesting help desk support during business hours. Server support is 24/7. I hate to tell you guys, but that is a 24/7. Servers always need to be operating. If you don't have a knock, there are solutions out there. So don't feel like, oh, I can't deliver the MSP model. No, there are solutions out there that will help you guys. If you're a one-man shop or a two-man shop or a handful of people, and you're like, I don't have people to keep an eye on the dashboard after hours or on the weekends, that's okay. Don't worry about that. Those are easy problems to solve. But as a managed service provider, we're keeping an eye on the network around the clock, and that's what we charge for. Let's say two servers, and these are Windows servers, so that's a fixed cost. Administration of backup, network support. Let's just say there's one firewall. We charge for Microsoft 365 support. We don't bundle it in with the computer support because that's like managing. I don't know how long you guys have been around, but back in the day, you had Exchange servers. Well, we charged for managing the Exchange server. It was a task to administer add changes and deletes, password resets. It was a task. So we do the same thing. We charge if they have Microsoft 365 or G Suite, we charge a fee for each end user's email. Now, do you bundle in a Microsoft product? Absolutely. Right there, you have business premium license. We charge the same cost as Microsoft does. You do not want to be charging more because a client will do a price check on you, and next thing you know, they're going to ask you, why are you charging me more than what Microsoft does? So you don't want to give them any reason not to go with you. So keep it at their cost. Endpoint detection and response is a absolute must. You need to bundle in a security license. Do not leave that out. You need software to back up those servers. So you need a product. And it could be Veeam, it could be Datto, it doesn't matter. Just bundle in software so you guys you come up with a complete solution. The client doesn't have to think about one thing here. They're like, all right, you have me covered on IT. This is all we need. There's nothing else. They might have SaaS products that are specific to their organization, and we will come into positions at our company where, yeah, we'll resell their specific SaaS products to them. But we're going with just a standard organization here. So, but 62, 31.85 a month, not bad for a 50-person office. Can we reduce this cost here a little? Absolutely. We can go to 50 and you're still making money. We would go down to 2,500 there. Now, you guys are probably thinking, what is a 1 hour service level agreement? If you want to sell value, if you want to stand out above the competition, there's a lot of MSPs and a lot of IT firms in general that don't offer a service level agreement clause because they don't know how to do it. So, what does that mean? This means that we guarantee our clients that we're going to start solving a problem within an hour. That means if we get an email, a phone call, if everyone's busy at the knock, we guarantee to start working on the problem within an hour. And look what we charge for 1 hour SLA. We have a 20-minute SLA and a 2 hour SLA, but most clients tend to go with a 1 hour SLA. So we decided to just use this as an example. So now that's more cost. You're just tacking on more fees for what you have to offer. And one thing that you guys can do is there's going to be on the next slide, you're going to see the big delta we create. So let's look at what it's going to cost to support that 50-person office, because we've already determined a 50-person office is going to cost about 10 to maybe 15 hours of support, help desk support, if they're high maintenance. Because what we typically see the numbers float around 20 to 30% for support, for help desk support. So a 50-person office, what 20% is 10 people will call in for support. 10 hours to support 10 requests is pretty high. We usually see it float around 5 hours because our people are good, they're experienced. So, but we went on the high side here. We decided, okay, let's just say that 50-person office takes 10 hours to support. We pay our people 50 plus an hour. So right there is going to cost us 500 bucks. Backup and network server administration each month, 1 hour, 75 bucks. So now we're going with the OpEx, right? Or the capital expenses, sorry, the CapEx. So the tools, right? You're going to have an RMM tool, you're going to have an EDR tool, you're going to have the 365 license, and you're going to have the software. So we've detailed that out too. We've broken it down so you guys can see, okay, what is this totally going to cost me each month? Total cost, all expenses, support and your operational expenses comes to 2155. You subtract that from the bill you send them, you're still netting 4,000 plus dollars a month. Even if you have a bad month, even if that help desk support climbs to 1,000 bucks, even 2,000, you have plenty of space to on your net there. So managed IT services is such a not only a profitable model, it's attractive, it's proactive, and clients love it, guys. They love it. It's just they love the predictability, they love the value, they love the fact that you're going to implement a strategy so there's no problems. Now, this takes experience, it takes knowledge, It takes experience because you're going to have processes, you're going to have policies, you're going to have procedures. And we're going to discuss that on part 2 in the next couple of weeks because there's a lot of questions I know you guys probably have if you're still stuck in the break fix model. And some of you are on the MSP model, but you still have questions because maybe you're unhappy with the PSA tool, the RMM tool. Um, how are you going to support 24/7? Right? Because you don't want to step away from opportunities. If you have a 24/7 opportunity, you have an old colleague who knows you, knows your work ethic. They know that you're a credible, quality person that delivers tech support or knows that you have a business, and they're like, "Hey, you know what? I'm at a new company. I'm in charge of IT, and Jim, I know you deliver. We have experience working together. I can trust you, but can you deliver 24/7 support?" Well, that's a whole nother conversation that we can have later on. But in part 2, we're going to discuss how can you do that? How are you going to deliver 24/7 if you're a 2, 3 person office, even a 1 person office? Doesn't matter. You can still deliver 24/7 support and be profitable. That's it. That's the end of the show. And I'm going to open up the floor to you guys to see if you have any questions and address any concerns or um, touch on a specific subject. But I'm going to let you guys ask away now. What's on your mind? What questions do you have? Everybody's on mute, so Doug, Tony, Leo, Gregory, ask away if you have any questions. Leo has a question. Leo, you can talk. You can unmute yourself. We can have a conversation if possible.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. I better can explain it if I'm talking anyway. Could you sum up all those items that you have, like that total amount that you had on that list, into like a per user model? Meaning, instead of showing the client actually all those line items with a total amount at the bottom, more so explain it, say 130 per user type of thing, and then
You
still include all those items.
you
Okay.
could do that. You can leave the costs out so you can say, look, this is and you know what? That's a great point. I like that because it doesn't give them so much sticker shock, right? You can say, hey, look at you can go through each line item and say, look at what you're going to receive. You're going to get tech support during business hours. I'm going to ensure your servers are monitored 24/7. If it breaks down at 2 a.m., I guarantee to start solving that problem. You don't ever give resolution time.
Gotcha.
You always position yourself that I am going to start working on this problem within a certain amount of time. And you can list all of that out for them and say at the bottom, all right, this is what the cost is going to be per user. You're going to try that. You know what, I would do both and see what is more receptive.
Okay.
See what kind of feedback you get, because that's a great idea. I haven't thought of that because I've always been extremely transparent with all my clients and prospects. Like, okay, this is what this costs. This is what this is, and very we keep everything above board, so clients know what they're paying for. But I like your idea of just saying, hey, you know what? Let's just give them a per cost user. I'm not opposed to that. That's a great idea.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No worries. No worries. We got Tony. Doug is on hold. Any questions, Tony, Gregory? I appreciate you guys coming and listening to the webinar. We are going to post it on the website and YouTube, so you guys can reference it later. But it's definitely an ongoing conversation with break fix firms. Leo, are you delivering a proactive managed IT service model today, or are you on the break fix model?
I'm currently on the break fix model. The customers that I want to convert to managed services are kind of in the sticker shock mode, like you kind of said.
Yep,
And then they've had a relationship with me for so many years, being that was responsive back then. As far as if something breaks, I will always kind of operate on an SLA type of mindset without even knowing about the managed services part. So
sure,
now
sure.
to try to convert them over, they're kind of in the mindset of, well, everything's been working good so far. Why can't I just keep you on the break fix thing? So that's the issue I've been having
So
most of
here's
the
the thing.
time with my customers. Yeah.
Gotcha. What is the typical client size for you?
It ranges typically from 10 to 25 users.
Oh man, prime pickings, brother. Prime
Exactly.
pickings. So this is what you and I should have a separate call. I'm doing this as a complimentary just to help you out because positioning yourself strategically, you got to take a certain approach. And if you listen to the whole webinar, and I say that early on in the webinar about the information you need to compile to position yourself, why they need to transition over to the managed IT service model. And one of those is, you know, saying, look, we could have avoided this problem. You wouldn't have been down all day if we had implemented a proactive model. And they might come back to you and say, well, why don't you implement it today? Well, your only comeback is you're going to pay for you're going to pay. We only implement a proactive model for firms that sign up for managed IT services. Right now, they're on reactive mode. You want to put them on a proactive model. But
Mm.
the ones that really value IT are the 20 plus organizations. They have 20 plus employees, and you got to be able to have enough data to approach them and say, look, you spent in the past 6 months, let's just throw a number out there. Let's just say in the past 6 months, you've spent $36,000 on IT support. If we move you to the managed IT service model, you're only going to spend $30,000. Let's just use hypothetical numbers for now, because if you go back to them and say, "Oh, this is going to cost 72,000," they're not going to be receptive to paying more, right? Because that's just how a lot of these business people work. But you can also you have to think about, do they value downtime? Like, do they care if they're down? Do they care if they have problems? Do they you're the only one that's going to know that. That's why, and what I was saying in the presentation, you're trading hours for money, and you only make money when they're broken down. So when you have a prospect that approaches you for IT support, you're going to meet with them. You got to pitch them the managed IT service model, because your new clients will be more receptive than the clients you've conditioned. You've already conditioned them. You've been giving them a drug, and they love that drug, right? They're like, hey, we don't we like how things are going, and why change it? It works for us. And they have a great argument. And what's going to happen is your new clients that you sign up are going to want to stick with the predictable model, a preventative maintenance model, because you've sold it. You're like, look, I'm going to position myself of value. I'm going to position myself that we only offer this model. Don't give them that break fix. I know it's hard to list. I know it's hard to embrace. This is difficult, but this is for your own good. We used to be, in the beginning, back in 2001 when I started here, we were a break fix firm. 4 years later, we moved to the managed IT service model. And I can honestly say, and all the techs will say, is, why didn't we fire the break fix clients sooner, right? Because they were more problems than what they were worth. They didn't want to listen to you. The clients that want to listen to you, the clients that are proactive, or they embrace the proactive model, they will listen to you. They will say, you're right. We do need backup. We do need security. we do want to eliminate any disruptions to the network. So they will listen to you. They actually value IT. And that's how you need to position your organization as a value added partner. Okay. Because the other flaw with the break fix model is you can take on a client who has brand new hardware, brand new, they're all up to date and all their services are in the cloud. So yeah, you're right. They're going to have little problems. But one thing that they they will always need tech support, but they're not going to have as many problems as usual. So that's where the break fix model is kind of like, oh, this is there's the flaw there, right? You're not going to make any money with them. And when they do have problems, they're going to need you, and you're going to probably be busy with your proactive clients, right? So you got to think about how you're gonna balance. That's a balancing act, because I know you got to put food on the table. You got to put a roof over your head. So it's definitely a balancing act, but something you can change on your side when you have a new prospect hire you, or at least say, I want to meet with you. Talk to me about your proactive model. Talk to me about managed IT services, predictable costs. So, Tony, any questions?
No, I think I heard you. It's good. I don't have any question at this point. We're already mostly on the MSP model already, just pondering your your sharing the wisdom and reflecting on what we do.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hey, man, that's great. Yeah, it's the more education we provide for the break fix firms, I think that they will start to see that, yeah, this is the best. This is it's just a valuable model. And the more information we produce, I think that they will start to embrace it. And I know that tools are, just part of the business. And which tools should you get, and which policies should you implement? And this is all best business practices, guys. This is what you want to implement: is policies, procedures, disaster recovery policies, security policies. We're going to be providing that all for you, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel, because it's critical to the success of your business. Contracts are something we often discuss, and we will be bringing it up again, because your contract should protect you. Everybody thinks, okay, the managed IT service model is an all you can eat, and it's a fixed cost. It's is it all you can eat? For support, maintenance, sure, right? Because you're providing a maintenance model. This does not include, and don't mistake it for projects or one-offs. That is not what the managed IT service model is about. Just because we say we give you IT support, it doesn't mean that projects are included. And we make that abundantly clear in our contracts and when we're talking to clients or prospects. Because they ask, they're like, hey, this is a fixed cost model. Great. This is going to include projects. I'm like, no, it does not include projects. Projects are out of scope. That is a different scope. So for organizations to make that assumption, you got to make that abundantly clear in your contracts that what is not included. When are you going to start solving problems? You have you need to have a security clause in your contracts that state you need to follow our direction. If you do not, we are not going to be held liable, because clients want to, keep costs down, and they're like, well, we don't need this much security. Well, you do need security. You do need to listen to us. So remember, you're that expert. They hire you for a reason. You go to a heart doctor for advice on, for heart disease, or to not have a heart attack, right? So um but we'll be having more calls, and you guys are always welcome to send me an email if you guys want to have a call about, especially Leo. I know you're contemplating the MSP model, how to sell value, how to position yourself. That's all coming up, man. We'll have that. And
I was
Tony,
just
if you
about to ask that. Thanks.
yeah, it's there's lots of coaches out there that provide that, but and they're expensive, but we want to provide that same thing at a lower cost. So just stay tuned, just be patient. We have that information coming out. We'll be producing that framework so you follow a step-by-step plan on how to position yourself. And one of the biggest positions, or one of the way to position yourself, is you can deliver a 24/7 SOC. Security is no longer a luxury. It's a necessity. It's a requirement. And you guys should be offering a 24/7 SOC to your clients. Even small businesses are a target. Small businesses get breached more than the bigger boys. The bigger boys have all the bells and whistles to prevent breaches. Small businesses are more vulnerable, and they don't need all the bells and whistles, but they should have something in place to protect them from a potential hack or download ransomware. I mean, one of our clients downloaded ransomware because they weren't listening to us, and they were down for 2 weeks. We had to rebuild their entire infrastructure because they refused to listen to our advice. And they never, thankfully, they never like held it up against us, right? They acknowledged that they should have listened to us, but you don't ever want to be in a position where a client they're down for 2 weeks. That is painful. That is potential bankruptcy. So you guys, if you guys need a 24/7 SOC, we have answers for that, and we're going to be having more webinars on resources for you that cost zero. You can implement a 24/7 SOC at no cost and deliver a 24 and just pay for what you need, right? So if you had a client that needs a 24/7 SOC, it's not like you have to hire 10 new people. That's the standard business practice. Oh, hire more people. No, there's 24/7 SOCs out there that will deliver a complete platform for you, under your umbrella, under your logo. So there's ways for you to scale a 24/7 SOC. So don't ever walk away from opportunities because you feel like you can't deliver. No. If you have that question, send me an email saying, Fernando, is this possible? And I'll be completely honest with you. I'll be very upfront with you. If you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to end the call, but I appreciate you guys coming here and listening in to the show. But feel free to send me an email, and I'll put it in the chat because let's see. Not sure if you have it, but there it is. It's in the chat. If you guys have any questions, just email me. I'll get back to you. Just be a little patient. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. That's the end of the show. I'll look forward to the next webinar. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.